Just enough stank on it to be good.
Alright. Alright, I'm Personitis, and I'll be the commentator for this Z-Factor any percent run between Elminster and Fusda. And we're just waiting on both runners to be ready.
In person, feel free to clue me in whenever you have spare time. I'll read some donations.
Alrighty. One of you is waiting on the map screen, the other one of you is waiting on start game. Is there a specific screen one of you wants to start on? Alright. Alright, Elm, go ahead and get on the map screen. Well, at least everybody gets to see the intro, I guess. The very short intro. Waiting for the final confirmation that they are ready. Alright, I'm gonna... Okay, yeah, alright, Elm's ready. Alright, so, from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And good luck to the both of you. So, Super Metroid Z-Factor. This is a Super Metroid ROM hack released back in 2012 by the user Metaquarius. There's a few interesting and new things in this hack. Pretty spectacular, I think. You'll get to see. Actually, you'll get to see two of the big things in the N%. It's a fairly vanilla hack. Otherwise, there's not much that differentiates it from regular Super Metroid mechanics-wise or graphics-wise. It has a few imports from Fusion Graphics, but nothing too special. The runs, despite being any %, is about an hour 40 long. Both of the runners are they have the two best times on the speedruns.com leaderboards. Their PBs placing only 38 seconds apart, I believe. And the intro here is going to be pretty much the same as original Super Metroid, just fall down criteria while it's asleep and go get morphin missiles, and then head back up to go find bombs. But it's going to be a little bit longer of a trek. So it's also going to be a slight detour for some extra missiles, and that's because the route that's going to be run is going to skip charge beam for a good 35 or so minutes, and all the extra ammo is going to be needed. So both players getting to morphing ball, and Fuzda going to pick up missiles. The first pack of missiles, Elm right behind. Just going to make their way back to the criteria elevator. But before they go back up the elevator, they're going to have to, or they're going to want to, go out of their way to get an extra missile pack. It's going to be especially handy skipping charge beam for 35 minutes. And this is the detour I was talking about not too long ago. I don't think that Zero Mission had any major influence on this. I can't say for certain though. It just does take graphics from Zero Mission. I think it takes a few graphics from Fusion as well. I could be wrong. But now the planet is awake, and we're going to blast through what is similar to the old Mother Brain tank room, clearing out the pirates rather efficiently, and then the climb, which is significantly shorter. With the platforms in a different position, it makes it a little wonky to climb up the room. Gonna try and dodge a key hunter here as well. Or shoot it out of the way, that works too, and then get hit by another one. So let's climb back to the ship, because where the runners need to go next is a big loop around criteria to get to bombs. Don't think on this pass they're going to stop at the ship. There's going to be multiple passes through this area. Waivers getting in the way and whatnot. And also, if there are any donations, there's a little bit of time here, up until Bomb Terizo, even a little after it, so...
Awesome. I have some.
Cool.
So, we have $5 from X Hot Coffee. No message, but thank you so much for your $5. We have $100, which is from Poplars, with the message, "Here's the money I promised. 40 for the Goop Sparks, an additional 60 because I love this marathon and the charity it is supporting." We have $7 from MTI that says, "Metroid, woo! Greetings from, not Germany." And we have $5 from Tokyo Scarab, otherwise known as Big Toke, that says, "Hey all, been a part of this event since the beginning, and I love the good it does every year. Seeing all of you come together to help support such a great cause and watch some good runs fills me with joy. You guys rock. P.S. Kill the Germany, save the Germany."
Alrighty, thank you for the donations. Bomb Terizo, now the first boss, or mini-boss, depending on how you want to look at it, of the run. Not much has changed from original Super Metroid, it's just that the players have more ammo this time. And instead of 1 missile pack, they have 3. And they also have bombs now, and you might have noticed when the players fell in the room that there's no chance of Bomb Terizo's skip. So, rest in pieces, the memes. So, with bombs, it's time to make their way back around criteria again. I promise you this hack is not full of loops like this. Well, this run isn't full of loops like that, I should say. There's an area later on that is particularly notorious for being full of loops. Alright, so I think, let's see, Fooz's missile count looks pretty good. Not sure if he'll opt to save. That would be the safer option here. No pun intended. Elm is going to stop by the ship, though. The players are going to need a missile count as full as they can possibly get, because they have to take on... Alright, looks like both players are indeed safety saving, if refilling and safety saving. But both players are going to want other missiles because there's a wonky gate glitch coming up. The gate is raised quite far off the ground, and this is a pretty notorious reset spot for runs. And then right after that, they're going to have to use their missiles to open a red door with nowhere good, really, to refill after or before. And then they're going to have to do another gate glitch to follow it up, all on 15 missiles. So, essentially, 10 missiles to, or depending on how you clear out the pirate tier, 9 missiles for 2 gate glitches. Alright, Fooz through on the first try. Fantastic. I'm not too far behind. It's important to dodge all the pirates here as well, or as many as you can. Oh no, sorry, there's an energy tank right here. I forgot about that. But energy is going to be playing a part quite a lot in this run. Z-Factor is a great casual playthrough, I think. Speedrunning is rather brutal, however. It holds no mercy for the player's energy. And now that we've broken through, or the runners have broken through the gate... Oh! Elm grabbing an extra pack of missiles. Just to be extra safe. Alright, Fooz heading down into Red Brinstar. And going to pick up whatever could be behind this pink door. It's Varia suit. And this is one of the main sequence breaks in the run. To get Varia suit early prevents having to take an extremely long trip through Brinstar. But the downside is that runners will have to go without charge beam for a little while. And this is also a bit of a lava escape. Alright, Foozda coming up on the second gate glitch here, which he needs the bomb jump up to. Alright. And the next sequence break is getting into Norfair, upper Norfair, getting into Norfair via the upper entrance. Looks like Elm's having a little bit of trouble. Tricky bomb jumps, man. Alright. Now to clear out these B-toms. Alright, both the gates down, that's good news. There's only one gate glitch left, I believe. Elm in a really tricky position here. Really tight spot. Needs to be really careful. Foozda sneaking in the early super missiles. And getting into Norfair this early via gate glitch also gives early super missiles, which is nice, because if that was not possible, then early Varia would not be faster. And now both players are going to head on through Norfair for a little bit, trying to find their next power-up. You wouldn't think it, but Wave Beam... you wouldn't think it with all the gate glitches and ways to open gates and whatnot in Super Metroid. You wouldn't think that Wave Beam would be required, but this hack does indeed require it. All because an enemy is put behind a wall and you can't hit it otherwise. Foozda accidentally shooting the floor, that's really unfortunate. He's going to want those supers for a gate glitch right here. Rather interesting one as well. Alright, Foozda opting to take the long way around, the long, slow, and potentially painful way around with yapping maws and spikes. So that gate glitch, if it would have worked, works because if you position your super missiles correctly, you can have them moving at faster than 15 pixels a frame, which can shoot them through blocks. So by shooting them down at the right height, you can shoot it through the one-tile thick floor and open the gate from the wrong side. Now, let's see if Elm has any success with it. Elm did get through. It's going to be a nice little time save. Honestly, not sure what Fuzda's doing here. I think he might need the ammo. He's taking a save, okay. So again, you can see that while the runners might be well versed in Super Metroid, that's not good thing. Good thing there was a safety save there. The runners may be well versed in Super Metroid, but Z Factor is rather unforgiving and brutal. Enemies have some jacked up HP, do extra damage, so trying to cut through on low amount of equipment is rather difficult at times. The hack asks you to explore, and that's just not what any percent speedruns want to do. Elm with Wave Beam, clearing out those shot blocks and those Sovas, or Novas, whichever you want to call them. Here comes what's supposed to be a Wave Beam puzzle. It's a nice little puzzle, using the tripper and the gates. And I think now both players are going to, after Fuzda gets his Wave Beam and gets out, both players are going to circle around Norfair, pick up some extra ammunition along the way, grab a few extra power-ups, and then head off to fight another mini-boss. So while all that's happening, I can't think of anything off the top of my head that's particularly special right now. If you got any donations, Allie, go right ahead.
I do not, but it would be a good time to tell you to get your donations in so I can read them. And also, you can use your donation to choose whether or not these runners save or kill the animals in this game. I know many people have seen the animals in Vanilla, but have you ever seen the animals in Z Factor? I don't think they have either.
If you want to see, I don't know how well they practice it, but saving the animals in Z Factor is a really close call typically. So if you want to be mean and potentially cost them the lead or cause them grief, that is what you might want to do. Of course, I'm an animal hater myself. They can get cooked in a planetary explosion. I have no problem with that. So it's a long trek around Norfair. It's a big loop. But it's not the fastest way, but it is the safest way. The fastest way is extremely intensive on the energy, if I recall correctly, and not advised in the least bit. So I'm going through lovely, not really, Morph Maze. Fuzda's got Ice Beam. And I would like to see if Elm is going to go for the ceiling clips here, the swag clips. Oh, trying. Nope. Oh, close. It's really tricky. Alright, just not having it. Alright, that's fine too. Those clips save having to go around most of the morph maze, because moving around in morph ball through a maze is, if you can avoid it, not optimal movement, but ultimately you are, for the most part, constrained to the level design. We'll see if Fuzda goes for it, though. Nope, not even giving it a first thought. Right, both players have almost made their way all the way around Norfair back to where they came in from. And things are going to start to really pick up. Going to get a little more interesting other than just collecting items and running around. Elm coming up on the certified Norfair refill, I suppose. It's a particularly good spot to fill up on energy, ammo, whatever. Since you gotta fall through the pipes and the bugs are here. It's already, I think both players have utilized it already. Alright, this pass, it's better to get these missiles right here on the second pass because high jump makes getting up there much easier. And with Wave Beam, High Jump, and Ice Beam, it is now time to tackle this bubble room by shooting out that gate and freezing a... Oh, I'm going for the save. That's respectable. There is a... If you're not careful, there's a particularly deadly room that's coming up very soon. Also, looks like freezing that waver is relatively easy coming out of the save room. It's usually a pretty tricky feat to do, because the wavers move off screen, and not completing the room in a timely manner causes desync on the enemies, and it just makes getting through that gate a huge pain. Alright, so, tricky room here. Deskika's hiding in these little containers that need to be cleared out. Health conservation is important here. Getting some extra missiles. And then going up into a spike room, which is... Whoa. Whoa. Oh! Okay. Better than getting hit by a spike platform, but almost through. Those platforms would have dealt a whole energy tank of damage, and that would have been no good at all, especially with the farming that's likely to come up very soon. You want to get the least amount of energy drops as possible, and the best way to do that is to reduce the amount of damage you take. So coming up is going to be Crocomire, and Crocomire is the reason all the ammo has been picked up so far, and is the main bottleneck to not having Charge Beam. Thankfully there's 2 Kagos above the green door here to farm ammo on. And Crocomire's got a little trick to him here. Since the players don't have Charge Beam, they're going to want Crocomire to, well, first off, Crocomire starts off aggroed, so he charges the player all the way back to the spike wall, which is an interesting little change. But what's going to happen is both the players, Elm and Fuzda, are going to let Crocomire ram them into the wall because after that happens, Quagmire backs up further than he was initially stopped at, and this saves a little bit of ammo. And from here, it's just a typical charge beamless battle with Quagmire, and the reason why all the extra ammo expansions and super missiles were important to the run this early on. Not to mention, it does have the nice side effect of having extra ammo for later parts of the run as well. Ammo management doesn't become as crazy as vanilla, but it's still rather important. Quagmire looking like he's playing nice. Wow, what a cool dude for once. Alright. See how well Quagmire treats Fuzda. I'll give you one guess as to what's behind the wall. What's behind the spike wall? Surprise, it's Quagmire. There is, however, nothing special behind Quagmire, just a missile tank, which is not advised to get at this point, though it's certainly possible. But, however, in front of Quagmire, or I guess behind him if you want to talk about the beginning of the fight, there is a reward. And it's going to be hidden away right there. It's power bombs. Quagmire being a big pain. It's never welcome, especially on an ammo-tight situation like this. Alright. What a twerp. So there's still about another hour and 10 minutes, and there's a lot that can go wrong for either player. So the lead doesn't quite mean, or the lead isn't quite deterministic of the whole race just yet. The runners are still in the tricky part of the run. Matter of fact, the run is going to continue being tricky, ammo, and health intensive until Kraid is defeated, I believe. So back in Red Brinstar. Bread Rinstar. That's some good English for you. And Fuzda with the power bombs as well. With this, both runners are done for Norfair for quite some time. At least Fuzda will be after he picks up the energy tank. Elm approaching the reverse noob bridge. Another bottleneck for runs, because it requires a combination of damage boost and crumble jumping through an area with spikes on the ceiling. Oh, and there's worms down here to just eat away your energy every time you fail, so clearing them out is something that is very wise to do. Alright. Good old reverse noob bridge. Bringing it home. And doing its job of being awful. Alright, if you got a donation or two, I guess now would be a good time to read it off.
Yeah, sure, let me see here. So we have a $34 donation from Garb that says, "Yay, a cool Super Metroid ROM hack. Love seeing stuff like this. Love seeing things like this happen for such a good cause. Smiley face." And we have $20 from Totally Not Leggy that says, "Germany from greetings. Watch time longer. Donation time firster. Donation goes to memeing on Leggy Starscream, the biggest nerd on Twitch." Thank you.
Alright, so it seems that I really overestimated how long it would take to get charged. Excuse me, it's been a while, but we're now at charge beam. the really intensive ammo management portion of the run is done. Fuzda through the new bridge first try. Very well done. Now I'm a little hurting for a little bit of energy here. But that's not going to be too much of a problem for much longer. At least I don't believe so. Yeah, these bugs don't do much. He's going to want the energy anyway, because the Rios in the next room can be deadly. Alright, here's a quick shortcut for a super missile pickup. The sheer power of super missiles are going to be useful for a mini-boss coming up. As you can see, Rios are great at getting in the way, and Fuzda collecting a charge beam. Elm taking a safety save. Unfortunately, the closest safety save to a point which could be very fatal. At least there's an energy tank nearby. So it's not, it's got some kind of compensation, I suppose, for being so far away. So coming up in the next room, which Elm should be falling to any moment now. Oh, going to refill missiles, I think. Yes. Alright. The room below this one, which Elm is in, a little interesting bit of trivia. Players are running the version 1.3 of this ROM hack. Mainly for a few quality changes, and the only speed change I can think of happens in this room, where normally there would be a power bomb gate, no, a super missile gate, I believe, which would be rather difficult, or if not impossible to open in the version 1.0. It was removed in later versions. Normally you'd have to go around Brintstar quite a bit to find the switch to open the gate from the opposite side. And then you'd fall in and proceed through the gate. But both players come up on the mini-boss. Oh my. Oh my! What is going on here? Well, like I said, Z-Factor, hard, leads don't matter. Some precarious platforming going on. Alright, Fuzda first in. So, this mini-boss is moving item orbs. The trick here is to single out one orb at a time, because every time you hit an orb it starts to move faster, and you certainly do not want 3 of them moving around at light speed. That would be very unwanted. Super missiles do the most damage to them. Charge beam is a good way to conserve ammo and play it safer. Fuzda looks like he's pretty good on ammunition here. Elm really hurting for power bombs. I think that might be why he fell in the first place. I wasn't paying attention to his power bomb ammo count. Farming for power bombs is not ideal in, I can't think of anywhere good in Brintstar to find power bombs. You're just kind of stuck with whatever the bugs want to give you. But he has a power bomb now, so should be alright to move on if the room wasn't being such a pain. So in this room, Fuzda needs to kill all the pirates to progress. It's an enemy-locked room. And then Fuzda enters one of the most painful rooms in the ROM hack. Being any percent, just kind of have to tolerate the side hoppers and spikes and water and, oh man, all the damage that this room presents. Because ammo is not abundant right now. Opting to kill the giant side hopper. It's pretty fair. And one strategy through that side hopper room is to take damage off of the little side hoppers to mitigate and abuse invincibility frames. Mitigate damage and abuse the invincibility frames as to avoid the giant set hoppers, which do much more damage. Elm making it through the orb boss, no problem. Next step is taking a dive into Meridia this early without gravity. That would seem like the illogical thing to do in a speedrun, being how water without gravity suits slows you down so much. But ironically, this whole trip is going to get them speed booster, and that's pretty important item as well. It is required to get Kraid. Powerbomb ammo is important here. Sometimes the crabs are not so generous, but powerbombs mainly speed up this room, and they're going to want at least 2 after this room that Foos is in currently. If you have more than 2, it's a good idea to use a powerbomb in here just to get through the room faster, but you're going to need a powerbomb for the floor and then some enemies coming up just to be safe. Elm's powerbomb count looks pretty good right now. He's not really hurting for him, but it'd be nice to have a third. Gotta ride this platform enemy up to the top. And then because Meridia bugs do so much damage, it's wise to drop a powerbomb here to clear them out. Speed booster gets as Elm begins to take a dip. This is about the only reasonable farming room. One of 2 somewhat reasonable farming rooms for Kraid. Doesn't look like Foos is going to take a whole lot of time in this room. Fish being particularly problematic. Okay, Foos is going to go ahead and farm a little bit. Oh my. Underwater quicksand. Not a fun time. Fusda coming up on the auto scroller. Trying to get an extra power bomb. Extra 2 power bombs. And welcome to the required shack tool. Who's gonna grab a reserve tank? This would normally be a weird thing to grab at an any percent, but there's 2 reasons for it in this case. Later in the run, namely in Torian, that reserve tank has the potential to save the runners pretty much their run after the big Metroid. The other thing is they have enough time between Shack Tool from the ceiling breaking to Shack Tool opening up the ceiling, so it only takes I think with the item dialogue like probably just a second to grab, so it's a pretty worth it thing to grab, especially if it's going to save your run in about an hour. Or has the potential, I should say. Elm also taking an opportunity to farm. Alright, I think there's a Shine Spark coming up. Let's see if Foosda can get it. Alright, well, the Shine Spark didn't happen, I can tell you that much. Helm using a power bomb there. I'm not sure if that was intended. Alright. Let's see if I can commentator's curse Elm on the Shine Spark. I'm honestly, it's been a while since I've run this myself. I'm not sure if doing the Shine Spark is wise and or efficient with the energy at this point. Fusda going back to one of the most painful rooms in the hack with no problem because there's speed booster now. Nice little shortcut through that room, don't have to put up with nearly as much pain. This time going over the broken tube room. Alright, and another interesting grab here that the route will do. Typically... no Shine Spark there either. So, Fusda getting Spazer Beam. Typically, you wouldn't see that in an 8% run, but the extra firepower is really useful because bosses and some enemies are built like tanks, so the extra firepower saves time and makes things a lot less stressful. Helm coming up on the shortcut. Taking out all those side hoppers along the way, getting his revenge. And the area Fusda's in is really tricky. There's some spike or some crumble blocks hidden over spike blocks, and it's pretty good gotcha moments there. All right, Fusda coming up on Kraid's hall, the hall before Kraid, which is gonna be a bit of an ammo sink or a time sink, depending. There's a bunch of pirates in here that need to be cleared out for the room to be opened. Looks like Fusda's gonna take his time. Also spikes. Now, despite Kraid being the boss coming up, you might be thinking, why isn't he just damage boosting and like, not caring for his energy? Well, not only is Kraid built like a tank, with a lot of HP, but quick kill is not possible because a lot of HP, and he just immediately rises out of the ground if you try, as I recall. Yeah, see? And both players, when they get to Kraid, have to be careful of the flying fingernails, because they don't do their normal 10 damage or whatever, they do like 60 damage or something. So they have to be really careful. It's a bit more of an engaging Kraid fight. It can be a little tricky if you're used to just blasting Kraid away with quick kill. Fusda's doing a pretty good job staying alive. Kraid's bullet hell. Ooh, 3 supers in. That was good. I'm approaching real fast. Alright. Kraid's fantastic reward is an energy tank, which is actually very welcome. Vanilla 90% usually runs optimally on 3 energy tanks. Some players opt to do 4, some players opt to do 5. Doing a 3 energy tank Z-Factor is a death sentence. We're still early in, and we're almost halfway through, and the hack is still being demanding of the player's energy. Not just because it's 80%, but also because the level design and the enemy placements are just a very deadly combination in this hack. believe the estimate for this run was 1 hour and 40 minutes. Both players have... One second, I got it right over here. Both players' PBs are 1 minute and... or 1 hour and 31 minutes, and Elm's... that's Fooz's. And Elm's is 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 48 seconds. Yeah, it's a nice lengthy hack, but it's not uncomfortably lengthy, I would say, for a speed run. Where's it going? Oh, didn't get it. He's going back to the red sidehopper water spike room. It's possible to get through with a Shine Spark on the way back with either an extremely difficult 4-tap, or, as you can see, he tried to hold a charge and spark through from the next room, which didn't go to plan. Alright, and I think that's the last time that room's going to be seen for a little bit. That would be the last time, period. It's been a while. Please excuse. I missed Elm's fight with Kraid, but it seems like he got through without much trouble. Though now the Red Brinstar Hall, with all the crumble blocks, the side hoppers, and the spikes, is doing its job, unfortunately. Fooz's getting Grapple Beam, which is another odd pickup for an NA%, but is actually required. I have some beef with Grapple Beam, personally. There's one room that I've tried my hardest to skip without it, but it's just not easy in the least bit, or practical, real time, and or in a speed run. So I'm almost getting the Shine Spark back through the side hopper room. Just a few frames short on the jump. Both players having to put up with the full force of this terrible, terrible room. So Fouz is making his way through Zebesian Highway right here. This is one of the most traversed parts of the planet in this ROM hack. It connects up Brinstar, Criteria, Norfair, Meridia, all fairly efficiently. And it's going to be traveled quite a few times. So Fouz essentially climbing a red tower. Oops, oops, alright. I think we lost Elm's feed. Alright. Well, I think we might have a case of Elmnet right now.
Try hitting the button for it again. I'm just seeing a feed.
Here, I'll clear it and load it back up. Maybe that might be the issue. Ugh. Yeah, I'm not getting anything. Fouz, they're coming up on the ocean. He's gonna try a tricky bomb jump out of water. So first he's gotta play a little bit of patience with this fish here, and then he's got to get an out of water bomb jump going. And this skips a oh, well done, well done. This skips a bit of a loop around Criteria. Oh, but he fell. That's really unfortunate. So now it looks like everybody gets to see what this wonderful loop is. It's quite a time sink too, unfortunately. and is another run killer when missed. Typically, there are 2 chances to get it, but you have to be fast or fail early if you're going to try a second time. Okay, I have Elm's feedback now, we're okay. Elm heading up to Criteria himself. Not going for the Shine Spark. That's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Alright, I'm totally a little behind. I'll see what I can do here. Oh, yeah, okay, I was a little bit behind on Fuzi's. Thank you for that. Elm going for the bomb jump. Fuzda fell again and going for it again. Oi. What a pain. I think this is the 3rd reminder that Z-Factor does not care about how good you are. There's plenty of room for it, plenty of room? No. Precarious platforming has its consequences in the sack, I'll put it that way. Elm up and out of there, into right ship finally. Alright, let's see what kind of Shine Spark Elm's gonna go for. There's 2 Shine Sparks to do here. There's the safer one, and then there's the more high-risk, high-reward one. I think he heard me and he's going back for the... Or maybe he didn't get his taps right, I'm not sure. Oh! Gotta go for the easier one, which is still a good time save. Yo, this IBJ out of water is so disgusting at times. Elm having ghost trouble. The idea of this room is to freeze the ghosts and use them as platforms to get up to the upper portions of the room. Getting trolled pretty hard by him. So, as Fuzda makes a loop around Criteria, and Elm makes his way to the big boss ghost. If there's any donations, feel free to read a few off.
We do not have any new ones currently, but this is always another chance as a reminder to get your donations in. We're about, was it, less than an hour, like 50 minutes out from the end of this run, considering estimate. So you're running out of time to get your donations in to save or kill the animals. So keep that in mind.
Just a few steps away from Fantoon. Oh, Fuzda with the swag jumps. Unfortunately, had to miss a platform in order to not fall back down. But he's up and he's out of there, that awful segment of Criteria. Elm's on to Fantoon. Fantoon is actually the one unchanged boss. Or one unchanged major boss. Actually, Mother Brain, I think, is unchanged as well. So, X Factor, Doppel strats. If it's a vanilla strat, it works on this Fantoon. Though, now that I look at it, the door's on the opposite side of the room. I think the left wall might be further in than it is in vanilla, if you were to flip it. Anyway, Phantoon being a butt. Alright, well, for all of the pilly-pallying Fuzda enjoyed in the ocean, he seems to be catching up pretty quickly, and then the shine spark into the ceiling. Whoops. What in the world? Lovely game. Grade A game, guys. You know, from the grapple beam to gravity suit, the run is supposed to be a little more lax, but was not the case in this run. Alright, Fuzda finally into Phantoon's room. Hopefully the ghost goes back to his grave in a timely manner. Elm picking up another pack of super missiles. Again, the extra ammunition is going to be rather handy. You're not past the point of bosses being jacked up beyond all belief. Another freezing the enemy underwater and leaving surface underwater to shortcut the room, otherwise Elm would have to travel all the way to the right side of the room, also with the swag jumps. I'm loving it, guys. Otherwise he would have had to travel all the way to the right side of the room and then grappled a few rippers to get over. I'm also coming up on the coin flip. Just gonna roll over and hope that... Okay, alright. There's really... You can bomb jump over these crumble blocks, but... Ah, jeez. This trick is called the coin flip, because with the setup being used, there's a 50% chance that the speed you start rolling with, just like that as you saw, will be enough to roll over the single crumble blocks. In the third attempt, it was good for Elm. First two were not. It has to do with the animation or the speed oscillation of the morph ball, I believe. So it's quicker but less efficient than bomb jumping across the crumble blocks. Elm making his way through an electrifying gauntlet. He needs to hope that one of these sparks doesn't hit him on the way down. You can still take damage while the Chozo's holding you. It just won't display until the Chozo lets go. And this... Oh wow, that spark was really letting it fly until the Chozo started walking. Alright, Elm's through with no spark damage. And gravity suit is acquired. More swag jumps, even running in air there. That was pretty nice. Fuzda's turn for the coin flip, baiting out the worms so they don't get in the way. Oh no, Fuzda's going for the bomb jumps. Alright. And still, let me tell you, this hack. Alright. Elm on his way back down to the Zebus Highway. And if you've been noticing a pattern so far, between Z Factor and Vanilla Super Metroid, you might have a good guess as to where he's going next. Alright, so from this point forward, both players can really relax. There's nothing stupid like the IBJ out of the ocean, or any energy, like exceedingly energy-intensive stuff going on for a little bit. It's just a bunch of exploring and traversing through Meridia. So if you got a donation or two, go right ahead.
Unfortunately, we still do not have any donations to be read. So maybe you guys can fix that.
I'm giving Allie so many opportunities. It's unfortunate.
I'm looking at you, chat. Give us some really good messages to read. Just really good. I don't know. Weird, memey, anything that's just not real bad. Just real, like, weird. Just give me good things to read.
Fuzdo with the neat, and I think is probably my favorite damage boost in the hack. So Elm opted to get another energy tank, as not only just to refill his energy, but again, boss is hurt. And Lower Norfair, when they get there, is going to be especially painful, depending on RNG, their movement, and how much they've practiced. Looks like Fuz is also opting for said energy tank. Alright. Once again through this awful side hopper room. No problem at all. And now, Meridia. The proper time to enter Meridia ends up catching a lot of people off guard because it's rather confusing, or supposedly confusing. And while it's probably one of my favorite areas in all of Super Metroid ROM hacks, because it's so well built in that it asks the player for a high level of observation and memory, as it's built in a bunch of confusing circles. But not just that, it's built in a way that advanced players, like these two runners you see right here, will just be able to breeze through and cut through all the BS and get right where they need to. So it's unique in that way. So unless you're taking notes, and you play this for yourself, you might find yourself stumbling around in this Meridia. So for example, here's a shortcut that makes this, shortcut from Elm that makes part of this whole loop much interesting. The first shortcut being the one that was used to get into Meridia. Crumble blocks everywhere, and then Elm has to be careful with this bomb jump here. Alright, well done. Failing that bomb jump causes a loop around Meridia back to the mid-air morph hidden tunnel in the ceiling. He's going scuba diving himself. Am I really that far behind? There's no way. No, I'm not that far behind, alright. Just had to check. Elm laying a power bomb in a very specific manner here as to not blow up blocks that he doesn't want blown up. Falling in this room is ill-advised. Though salvageable, it's just another instance of taking a big loop around if you fail something. Who's approaching the bomb jump? Got his practice earlier. Well done. Alright, he's through 2. I am still somehow behind. Let me see here. Elm going into Batoon from what I can see. I'm gonna see if I can't refresh both the strings on my end. Well, Elm is fighting Batoon right now. That's not very accurate for me, but Batoon is not changed too much, as I recall. You might have a little bit of a health boost, and the floor... I mean, Batoon himself has not changed much, but the floor makes this fight a hassle, to say the least. Batoon being... Alright, finally. Alright, now the game is about to get back into full gear with the pain and the suffering, and that's an up spark. Whoops. Dragon isn't too far after Batoon, and that's where the game, like I said, kicks it back into full force with the difficulty and all that jazz. But before... Oh, I think Elm is going to go take a safety save. Yep, that's completely reasonable at this point. Technical difficulties. Let's see here. Elm's got to clear a room here. This little Shine Spark puzzle room. Typically, the room's going to expect the player to come in and figure out they need to make a Shine Spark, build a Shine Spark somewhere, and then exit the room and re-enter it in order to... Okay. Alright, good. I expect the player to re-enter to be able to build the spark, but with some good speed booster skills, we can just build the charge and get right through. Alright, so Elm's approaching Dragon, and this is going to be tricky to explain because there's going to be a lot going on. First off, Dragon swoops exceptionally fast, so the speed booster isn't going to be as effective. Dragon also doesn't activate when the room starts. She activates when the space jump item, or the fake one, is grabbed. And then from here, it's going to be a fight with just charge shots and ammo and any Shine Sparks that the runners can squeeze in. The reason Shine Sparking this Dragon is less effective, not only do you have less time to build a spark because of swoop phases, but because during the swoop phase, Dragon moves faster. The damage that the Shine Spark does to Dragon is essentially based off of how long you can stay inside of her hitbox while Shine Sparking. So you're moving one direction, Dragon's moving much faster than in Vanilla in the other direction. The damage is less than usual and usually doesn't trade very well. So as you can see, Elm has been Shine Sparking on the goop phases like so to maximize Shine Spark damage because Dragon moves slower. Dragon also has I think double the health is in vanilla. So this is one of the portions of the run where all the extra ammo comes in handy. So not only were the runners collecting ammo for Crocomire, but having enough to effectively take care of Dragon, and later Torian will be another factor to picking up so much ammo. Elm with Space Jump, who's doing his best to acquire the item for himself. Uh-oh. Still got a reserve, but... Okay, Dragon's down. Alright, I see Z-Factor is a Super Metroid ROM hack. Just to reiterate from earlier. Released back in 2012 by the user Metaquarius. Stays fairly traditional. Or, to the... Traditional? Stays fairly similar to the original Super Metroid. It just expands the map a lot, makes some graphics adjustments, just boss health, enemy health, with a few minor additions. Minor in quotations, but for the most part it is Super Metroid, but it's just stays true to Super Metroid. That's nothing crazy like a Super Zero Mission or something, which combines both Super Metroid and Zero Mission in a sense. Alright, both players making their way to Plasma Beam. The Plasma Beam is a little bit out of the way, but as par of the course for Z-Factor, Low Warfare is deadly, the enemies specifically, and the extra firepower is really going to help take care of said enemies. Elm taking another turbo tube. How about that? This hex got two of them. Or, well, you've seen two of them. It actually has three of them, I believe. There's no problem. I mean, Elm can hear me. There's no, like, disqualification here. Come on. I, for some reason, don't recall that being the way out of Meridia, but it is. I just had bad memory. Alright. Alright, so... That Shine Spark I cursed both of them on earlier, via Commentator's Curse, with Space Jump now turns into a Space Boost, if they can land it, so we shall see how that works out. Yes, you have to forgive me, I'm used to referring to Andreww as Fuzda. Alright, Elm coming up on the Space Boost, hopefully. RIP. I'll still get a fairly good space jump through this room though, so it's not too big of a deal. Who's making some good ground here. Slowly but steadily catching up. I feel like Lower Norfair is going to be an equalizer. Alright, here we go. And... oh, dang. So close with the space boost. Another benefit of where Elm's going through, the Zabilsian Highway, is that there's 2 refill stations here. Super handy, especially after Phantoon and after Dragon. Energy tends to be a little tight, especially with, you know, enemies being painful and all that. Theme of the ROM hack. Currently, Elminster is in the lead. But there's still a few places left within the run that can change that.
Good news, person.
Oh?
We have donation messages.
Whoa! Alright, read them off.
We have $25 from Dork Master Fleck that says, I heart Power Up with Pride. Thank you, Fleck. We have $5 from Anonymous that says, please be kind to the Gonk Donk Robos. They have invincible bodies but fragile hearts. Hashtag New Gonk City. And we have $50 from Tetra that says, there once was somebody named Allie who had a low donation tally. So she told us, hey folks, send me something like jokes, and thusly I came to the rally.
Nice.
Thank you, Tetra. You see those donation messages, people? Those are amazing. I would love to see more of those. Thank you so much for all your donations.
Alright. Elm has found the quote-unquote secret entrance to Lower Norfair. And it's go time. Lower Norfair does not play at all. It's damage tanking, it's spikes, it's heavy hitting enemies. This Lower Norfair is essentially built expecting the player to go pick up Screw Attack, but it's any percent, you know. You don't explore unless you really need to, so that's the case here. There's no need to explore. There's no need to get Screw Attack. It just makes your life easier. There's also another instance in Lower Norfair where it would normally ask the player to go pick up Spring Ball, which is in Meridia and would require a humongous loop to go get. That's also just completely avoided here. Now I'm going up to get that Chozo statue, activate it so that he can lower the acid and remove a blockade in the elevator room to continue on through. And now, the next room is going to really showcase how disgusting of an area this can be. Well, let's hope it doesn't showcase how disgusting an area it can be, because it's pretty brutal. But here we go. First bit is dodging giant Deskigas, spikes, Namahimes. It's a gauntlet of pain. And especially the lag portion of the room right here, with the lava polyp, I believe is what it is. Acid, spikes, Deskigas. And this is why all the energy tanks are important. I think it's possible to go through this area with one less energy tank. Go on 4. It's not particularly advised. Here, clearing red key hunters with charge shots over acid and spikes. And the key hunters like to not move off screen, so they can be tricky to kill sometimes, but you can also abuse it. Who's taking the plunge? Looks like he's not having as difficult of a time. Really wanting to conserve his energy at this point. This last key hunter being an annoying bug. Yeah, Fuzda doesn't want anything to do with dying at this point. Alright, this room. This room is a morph maze that would usually require Spring Ball, or at least asks for it. Instead, a bunch of bomb jumps and tricky jumping just makes this possible. It's avoiding crumble blocks and avoiding spike blocks and not dropping to the acid, and Elm's just not really in a great position right now. Especially this last part coming up. Needs to avoid 3 crumble blocks. As I said, Lower Norfair is indeed being an equalizer. Elm finally through. Who's not far behind at all. Elm needs to be careful of the gold pirates. And also has to follow up with a Shine Spark right after this. Fuzda right on his tail. Going for a space boost instead, that's a good alternative. Very good alternative. Even if a little tricky. Oh! Oh! Fuzda through. Into another morph maze with enemies and acid. This time the enemies aren't as nearly as painful. And then Holy Grail of fake doors coming up here in a moment. It's gonna look like a locked door, but it's not. Oh, I'm gonna. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh no. That's not good for him at all. Yeah, the locked door is really a bunch of powerbomb blocks. Door here, in case he fails the grapple segment coming up. Like so. So not opening that gray door, that flashing door, would make this blue door Fuz just went through locked, thus making him have to go all the way back around. Thankfully that's not the case, though. This is typical Lower Norfair. This Lower Norfair expects the both the players to have Screw Attack and Spring Ball, but both are fairly distant to the any percent route, and thus not picked up. And by not doing that, it makes quite a few rooms in Lower Norfair atrocious. Andreww into the Ninja Pirate room. But there's a surprise here, there's not 2 pirates. There are 3. Surprise. Oh no! What are you? Oh jeez. Okay, the pirate stopped hopping around. really feeling for Elm right now. Having to do any kind of farming at this point in Lower North area is just not a happy feeling. Ridley is pretty much the same. He's got a little more HP. I think he takes 24 hits instead of 20 with charge, ice, wave, plasma. So if someone wants to do the quick math, whatever. Oh no, after the 13th shot, if he has 24 hits, he should turn red or pink, however you perceive the colors. Elm does not want to go back through that awful morph maze, so he's taking a save. Only to get attacked by a mob of Duskigas. Yeesh. Alright. Typical E-Tank. Hidden by Ridley. Not really hidden in this case, but guarded. Time for Elm to try out the grapple room. Missed it as well. Tricky room. Thankfully, or at least I hope so, Helm opened the blinking door. Yep, so the door is not gray. You can go on through and retry rather effortlessly. Yeah, I think Elm did save. Fun fact about the room Fuzda's in, was a way to take an acid bath in this room and break into the other parts of Lower Norfair through here, with the Crystal Flash, and use X-ray climbing to get to Ridley faster. Not easy by any means, and being that X-ray is out of the way, not really practical for any percent. RBO and low percent, on the other hand, might hold some merit, I believe. We are an hour and 24 into the run. The estimate was an hour 40. So, again, I'll go back to saying that Z-Factor is a great casual playthrough and a perfectly fine ROM hack until you try to speedrun it. It's just doing the route with any degree of item optimization causes grief. Alright, Elm is through, finally. But his health, I don't remember if there's somewhere to farm. That's going to be the problem. Here's to heading up the Zebesian Highway one last time. Elm has Ninja Pirates, so that has some potential to turn some energy. Hopefully that's all he gets bombed with. Alright, those drops are looking good. those are some pretty good drops, I'd say. It's gonna want a space boost here. Fuzda heading back to Bomb Treezo's room. Oh no. Alright, well, it's a good thing you got all that energy. And now heading to Ridley. Alright, so Fuzda's gonna chill and take a little bath, I guess, in statues. I suppose this would be a good time to remind everybody, if you want to influence saving the animals at all, you still have time for your donations. Oh no! Animals. I'm trying to remember myself. Because if this happens to, So the thing about Z-Factor animals is that the Z-Factor escape is already a little tight on the timer. Not knowing where to go, it's done at that point. Trying to think here. Yeah, it's in BT's room, sure, but trying to remember how to get there. I don't remember the escape very well. Clearly Fuzda doesn't know where it is. Fuzda making his way through Torian. It's a bit of a runaround in Torian, but Torian's got a really cool payoff at the same time. Or, not payoff, a really cool twist, I should say. A lot of people seem to like it. These pirates, can't damage them, I don't believe. I mean, you can speed boost them, or kill them with echoes, sorry, you can run through them with speed booster.
I'm assuming we have a pretty convenient save before the end of this game, before we, kill Mother Brain and stuff.
We do, yes.
If the runners would like to save there, and if save is the one that wins, they save before Mother Brain, they can get the one chance to try and find them, and if they don't have to do it anymore.
Alrighty. Oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, Fuzda's coming up on a segment where he needs his ammo, which could be heavily important here. He needs to blow out some Zebatites early on. Coming to a potential catastrophe before even attempting to save the animals. I honestly don't remember. I think it's 4 Zebatites. Yeah, there's Zebatites. 2 missiles, 3 supers, and then it needs the really lining up the shots here. Oh, this is gonna be so close. Oh, wow, okay. Still enough ammo to kill a Metroid, too, I think. I think Metroids are still damageable to power bombs. This is really close, but this is the Twisted Torian. It's pretty neat. You power down Torian. Alright, I think then Foos is running on Metroid drops and praying. Oh! Alright. Holy moly. So, yeah, this whole situation with the ammo is the other reason why so much ammo is picked up early in the run. Got some super missiles, I think we're good now. Energy, on the other hand... No, there's plenty of Metroids. This should be alright. Unless, you know, getting grabbed happens. So, navigating Torian with, in the dark with very limited line of sight? Viewport? Whatever? With a very limited camera. It's a little tricky. And all these are Metroid rooms, making it even more difficult. Alright, hopefully Elm doesn't have the same ammo issues Foos had. Good grouping strats here. Oh, yeah, Metroid's being a huge pain. Emma's looking really good though. Elm taking a save. Early Torian is still pretty painful as well. Namely for the Shine Spark that is coming up. Pirate gets a cheap shot, always on Elm. On anybody who shines sparks up there, I don't think it's possible to avoid getting hit. Elm's ammo looking much better than Foos's was. Not by much, but... Killing some pirates, good stuff. And Foosda now in the powered Torian segment again. Time for the big Metroid, and let's see if baby skip happens. Elm, that's not good ammo. don't think it is, at least. Oh no, it's gonna be just enough. Just enough as well. Holy moly. Needs some severe missile drops from the first Metroid, though. Alright, looks like Fuzda got through the big Metroid no problem. That's the point in which the reserve tank can come in use. If you get grabbed by the big Metroid, you get suckled down to 1 energy. If you don't have the reserve tank, you then have to worry about Rinka's a room or two right after, potentially killing you. Okay, got a super. Who's taking the final save? Alright, I think Elm's accumulating some ammo. He should be good from here on out. And then it's just a bunch of Metroid cleanup. Also, a nice touch here. You might notice that the acid is green. It's not orange. Getting a Zeb skip. Pretty usual for Super Metroid. Is there a Mother Brain? There's probably a Zeb skip. So Z-Factor as a speedrun, biting back to the very end with the ammo. Biting all the way. Never mind. I cannot word that properly. But just being a hassle all the way up until the end. Doing what it does best. Mother Brain I don't think has changed at all. Still the same old fight, just got a different background. Same hits to kill, I believe. Same rainbow beam damage. So Fuzda still has to be careful to a degree. He has a reserve tank he can fall back on. But obviously, charged, wave, ice, plasma, Mother Brain is easy mode, and it's not a problem at all. Alright, so where was the cutoff for the save kill? Was it when Big Metroid dies?
Yeah, we'll probably do it at the end of Mother Brain 3.
Alright.
When she crumbles and it starts the cutscene.
Alright. Final moments to determine the animal's fates, everyone. Whole lot going on here. I'm fumbling around in the darkness, killing all the Metroids. While Mother Brain also kills a Metroid.
I'm just gonna hop on here.
Alright.
Just gonna talk. Elm doing really good on all his counts. Health, ammo, everything. He's doing really good, he just kinda has to make it there.
Yep, the scary part, as we saw from both of them, was just blowing out the first set of Zebatites to turn the power off.
And there is Mother Brain 3. Let me check where we're at.
Oh boy.
We are saving the animals.
Oh boy. Good luck, Fuzda.
It actually cut off exactly when I wanted it to.
So, the animals... First of all, let's talk about the escape timer. The escape timer is 3 minutes, which is just as much as vanilla. Plenty of time, but without the shortcuts that exist in the escape, you typically cut it pretty close. I think speedruns usually end with like 40 to 50 seconds on the timer, but because they have to go save the animals, or at least attempt to on this first escape, that's going to make the escape time much tighter. And this could be interesting because I'm not sure if Fusda remembers where the animals are. I have a hunch Elm might. I mean, they're still in Bomb Treezo's room, but getting there is the tricky part.
Yeah, because it was obviously stated earlier that they're in the same place that they always are in BT's room. It's just figuring out how to get there with so many things shut down from escape.
I feel like Fusda might remember the moment he sees the room in question. Good shine spark there. Put you right inside the platform to not fall in the acid. I'm taking the animal safety save. And the final save before Mother Brain. Also, you'll see right here that when Fusda gets up there, there's pirates running for their life. Look at them, they're terrified. Why did we put a time bomb on a planet? Who thought that was a good idea? Here we are. Alright, yeah. Not too far out of the way, but still requires some quick movement to get here and get out. And you still need to bomb the blocks out of the way. Oh. Oh man, this is... Wow, this is gonna be really close. Yo, animal saved. I'm moving on to Mother Brain 2. Health, not even a concern for him. Could lollygag as much as he wants. As long as he doesn't take too much ketchup to the face.
Fusda pulling off those really good jumps on the way up.
He's clearly in the zone, does not want to have to redo Mother Brain. Oh man, this is going to be really close.
See if his movement is enough.
Oh! Oh no! Okay, he's still got it, he's still got it, he's good. It's going to be close. 6.63 is what I saw. Fusda's finished with a time of 1:45:21.
With the animals saved.
The animals are no joke in this hack. Good job, Fusda. not ideal runs, but both these runs showcased how difficult of a speed game this can be and how punishing it is.
And there's Mother Brain 3 down for Elm. Talking for 2 days straight is hard.
I couldn't imagine. I genuinely feel sorry for you. my throat is already kind of feeling it from commentating for about 2 hours. So.
Oh, we stay hydrated.
Oh, I bet. I'm just finishing off the last water bottle I have in the house.
Well, let's see if Elm can get to these animals and get out in time.
Should we place bets, or is that wrong?
I feel like that could be wrong.
Okay.
Did we switch to Elm's audio, though? That would be a good idea.
Does Elm have us playing in his audio is the question.
This is true, I don't know.
Can't really ask him right now either with the
no, I gotta... I just turn on the audio on the stream, which he does have sound.
He does. He said he is now. Or I am now.
Elm being the truest of MVPs and giving us game sound in the middle of this tight escape.
Door transitions are about the only downtime you get in Super Metroid, so props to the wall for stopping the Shine Spark, and props to Elm for taking the time to set that up. Oh man, getting close.
And we got a deer course.
Oh, do we? I missed it.
Yes, who's this?
Alright, well.
Let's see if Elm has easier time coming up that tunnel right there than Fusa did.
Yeah, it's pretty tricky. You can't just hug the wall. I think Elm's... I don't know. I think Foos had 57 seconds going into the bomb block room, so it looks like Elm's gonna have a good bit of leniency. Also, 1-11-11 on door transition. Nice transition. He's got plenty of time.
Oh, teasing the animals.
Disrespecting him so hard.
Not even afraid.
They should have died, I think is what he was trying to say.
Elm also with good movement getting up out of this planet.
Yes. Alright. I don't have a timer running for Elm. Rip. He's gonna go for the speedball.
Oh no.
He's got the time to do one.
This is true.
He's feeling ballsy. No pun intended.
Oh,
he's gonna go for a second one. Oh boy.
This is gonna be close. Oh my god.
For a third one. Oh boy. I think he has to make this one.
He has to make this one.
Alright, he got it. And we're out of there.
With a reigning time of also 6 seconds. Woo!
GG GG, guys. GG.
With a finish time of 1:51:43.
Z-Factor, no joke in multiple instances. Very difficult.
Considering all the lead changes and just how brutal this hack is, that's actually a really close race.
Yeah, it is.
Like, in vanilla Super Metroid, 5 minutes might be a big difference, but in this it's not.
And the difference in PBs is kind of to speak something on the difficulty as well. Both players having a personal best difference of 38 seconds, I believe, or 48 seconds. So, yeah.
Oh, by the way, we're fine now. Don't even worry about it. See if we can't get another Deer Force from Elm's feed real quick, and then we'll get set up for the Wario's Woods run with Monty. Thank you for the run, Fuzda. It was awesome.
Peace out, Fuzda. Have a good night. What a speedrun, am I right?
So, I would say, if the Wario's Woods runner and commentator could hear me right now, wink, that they should probably be setting up their stuff right now and be ready to go. So we can just switch right over. That was tense. I'm like shaking.
Yeah, Z-Factor is no joke. I'm sure it was an entertaining watch, though.
Yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed that. I'm really happy that I got to put it in. Hacks are a really tough thing to get shown at events.
Right.
So I'm just showing this because this is a really neat hack.
It's not too far from the original, and it's close enough that it's recognizable. I think is the main appeal here. All right.
Let's see here.
I'm gonna give it a bit of an early Deer Force, and I'm gonna be out. Thank you all for watching, and enjoy the rest of the marathon.
Thank you for commentating. It was a wonderful person.
Y'all have a good one.
You too.